Hey guys, YouTuber Hunter here. Alright, and now as I told you in my last video, here I am. In honor of the 4th of July, I figured that I would review a classic Great American Bash pay-per-view. And so, yeah, for this classic Great American Bash review, I decided to make a review for WCW's Great American Bash 1990. Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm honestly really not very familiar with this time in WCW. Yeah, I didn't really start following WCW until Hulk Hogan came along in 1994. So yeah, so really prior to when Hulk Hogan came to WCW, I really am not very familiar with the product. I know it was Ric Flair hair being the star of the company, like Ric Flair being the WCW's biggest star. But yeah, I'm really not too familiar with all the WCW product during this time that much. But yeah, I do know that this show really does have what is regarded by many to be one of the best moments in WCW history, and that's really the main reason why I decided to make a review for this show. So yeah, this is going to be a review for the Great American Bash 1990. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, this show is known for having one of the greatest moments in WCW history. So, yeah, that is probably would probably gives the impression that this really is a real great pay-per-view. And quite honestly, it does have good stuff on here. This show really does have three great matches on here. But I don't know, just the quality of the show overall, it's good, but it's just very inconsistent because, yeah, this show just, it really just does have a very mixed bag of just good and bad to it. Because, yeah, what's good on the show, it is definitely really, really good. But at the same time, it also is very inconsistent because this show really does have quite the number of stuff that just really is not very good. So yeah, so it's a very inconsistent. Overall, it is a good show, but yeah, just the undercard just really is not very good. And yeah, and plus also just the show just really seems to have too much filler on it because yeah, the show has 11 matches on it. So, yeah, it just seems like a lot of filler and just I feel like it just has a little too many matches on it. So, yeah, so if you take out two or three undercard matches, this show probably could have been better because yeah, there's some stuff on the show that really I don't think really needed. And yeah, and you probably just heard that blast outside. Yeah, I apologize if you hear any of those blasts throughout the video. Yeah, of course, with it being the 4th of July, there's of course people blasting fireworks outside. So yeah, so I apologize if you hear any more blasts like that through the rest of this video. All right. Yeah, but like I said, what is good on the show? It is really, really good. It does have one of the greatest tag team matches that you'll ever see. It does have another really good to great tag match, and the main event is just great as well. And of course, it really does have that great ending to it. So yeah, so it does have some there is stuff that is memorable on the show. Oh, and yeah, and like I said, it really does have one of the greatest moments in WCW history. But like I said, just with a really a pretty poor undercard overall, and just way too many matches on here, that really does kind of prevent the show from being really great. But yeah, the show still is really good, and like I said, it does have three great matches on here. So yeah, like I said, a mixed bag of good and bad throughout the show, but what's good, it's really good. So so I guess overall, I would recommend the show overall. Yeah, you gotta kind of sit through some crap, but it's worth it to really see what's really good on the show. So yeah, all right. So yeah, so the show was this was back when Jr. was with WCW. So yeah, Jr. was one of the commentators on the show, along with Bob Caudle, is that his name? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of strange to hear JR commentating for WCW. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. But anyway, okay, so oh yeah, so I guess I'll just like get into talking about the card on the show. All right. So the first match on the show, it was Brian Pillman versus Buddy Landel, and of all the undercard matches, I guess this one is probably the best undercard match. I mean, yeah, this was okay overall. I mean, it wasn't like anything like really spectacular or anything, but it was okay. I mean, nothing really too memorable happened, but I mean, it was fairly decent enough like action between the two of them. Like it, the match did go like back and forth, and Buddy Landel did like counter a couple of Brian Pillman's moves in the match. Like at one point, like Brian Pillman like tried to go for a sunset flip, I think, on Buddy Landel, but Buddy Landel was able to counter it. And then I think at one point, like Brian Pillman like went for a crossbody on Buddy Landel, but Buddy Landel like drop kicked Brian Pillman or moved out of the way. Yeah, he did like something to like counter the move. Yeah, and like I said, this was an okay match. Yeah, like I said, this was probably the best of all the undercard matches on the show. Oh, but yeah, it's not very too memorable. But yeah, it was all right. Yeah, and in the end, like Brian Pillman got the win. I think with like a roll up of some kind or a small package. Yeah, yeah. But Brian Pillman did get the win in this match. So yeah, Brian Pillman won. So this was an all right match. I would give it probably around like a 2.5 stars. Yeah, and then next up, then like yeah, the first hour or so of the show is like really like really slow. Like yeah, the show really does start off like very slow with like the first half. Well, not the first half, but the first hour or so of the show. But yeah, it does like pick up after that. So yeah, but yeah, anyway, yeah, continuing on. Yeah. Next up then was Iron Sheik versus Mike Rotunda. So yeah, I didn't actually know that the Iron Sheik was in WCW. So yeah, it was interesting to see him here. Yeah, but yeah, this really was like not too good. I mean, yeah, I mean it was pretty short. It was only about like 6 minutes or so. Yeah, but yeah, it really was not memorable. I mean, I really don't remember like much from the match. I mean, yeah, Iron Sheik did like a cheap shot Mike Rotunda before the match actually started. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I really just really don't remember much from this match. I mean, it was like a pretty forgettable match. Yeah, but then yeah, Mike Rotunda ended up like getting the win after like he got Iron Sheik in a bridge pin and got the pin. So yeah, so Mike Rotunda won the match. Yeah, so yeah, that match was like pretty forgettable. This is kind of like what I'm talking about with just like the filler on the show. I mean, yeah, this match just seemed like kind of like useless to have on the show. So yeah, this was probably one match that probably could have been cut from the show. So yeah, so I would probably give that match probably like a star and a half. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then after this, then was probably like the most forgettable match on the show. Doug Furnas versus Dutch Mantell. And yeah, this match just, yeah, this wasn't good either. Just, this match was just like really bad. Like, this was just like completely forgettable. I mean, I do not remember anything from this match at all. So, yeah, I can't really talk about it really. I mean, yeah, I think that probably like the Mike Rotunda Iron Sheik match and this match are probably like the two matches that really could have been cut from the show because yeah, both matches just weren't even that good and yeah, they were just like pretty useless matches. So yeah. So I just yeah, like I said, I can't really like say anything about the match just because I don't remember anything from it. Like it was just that forgettable. Yes, but yeah, in the end, like Doug Furnas did end up getting the win somehow. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I would probably give that match probably like a half a star. I mean, it was just like so forgettable and just useless, and it wasn't good. Yeah. All right. And then next up, then we had Harley Race versus Tommy Rich, and this was gosh, I mean, this was better than the previous two matches, but yeah, it still really was like not that good. I mean, yeah, it was kind of like a back and forth. I mean, it was uh, all right in ring action between them, but yeah, it really like was pretty slow paced. Yeah, but yeah, so it was just like the two of them battling back and forth for like 6 minutes once again, and then yeah, in the end, like Harley Race ended up by getting the win. So yeah, so yeah, once again, a pretty like yeah, a pretty just like just slow and forgettable match. So yeah, so I would probably give that like 2 stars. So yeah, as you can see, like the show really did like start off with the first hour just being pretty slow overall. Yeah. But then yeah, but then after this is like when the show really does like start to pick up. And this is where like stuff does like the good stuff really does start to come on the show. Yeah. And then up next, then we got the match of the night, and yeah, this is like one of the greatest tag team matches that you will ever see. Next up, then we have the United States Tag Team Championship on the line. It was the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, and defending the titles against the Southern Boys, Steve Armstrong and Tracy Smothers. And oh my gosh, this match was just an absolute classic right here. Just now, like I said, this is really like one of the best tag matches just that you will ever see. Like when it comes to just really like the greatest matches of all time, just yeah, this match really needs to be in that category because just this match was just like like I said, it is one of the greatest tag team matches that you will ever see. I mean, this is just like just Southern style like pro wrestling at its absolute finest. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just this match was just like absolutely incredible. Like this just went back and forth. I mean, yeah, I mean both teams just like brought their A games, and yeah, just some great back and forth action between both teams. Yeah, Jim Cornette was, of course, like in the Midnight Express's corner. So yeah, whenever like one of the Southern boys like got were like on the outside of the ring, like Jim Cornette would like hit them with their his tennis racket. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, this match just like went back and forth, and yeah, this match was just like so freaking awesome. Yeah, there was some really good teamwork from both teams in this match. At one point, I think it was I forget like which teams it were, but yeah, I think like either yeah, the Southern boys like really tried to like attack both members of the Midnight Express at the same time. Yeah, at one point like the Southern boys like went for like a double crossbody on both members of the Midnight Express at once. And yeah, and that was pretty awesome. Awesome. Yeah. At one point, like one of the Southern brothers, forgot which one it was, held up one of the members of the Midnight Express. Yes, and then the other one was like on the like came like flying down from the turnbuckle with like a double axe handle all on the Midnight Express. Yeah, yeah, and there were just like a bunch of like great like double team moves like that throughout the match. Actually, yeah, yeah, and then yeah, at one point it really looked like the Southern boys would have won after like getting after I think it was Tracy Smothers getting Bobby Eaton, I think it was, in like a small package, but he survived. And then yeah, then it has like the referee was like distracted at one point. Then like uh Stan Lane then just kicked Tracy Smothers in the back of the head, and then yeah, Bobby Eaton then was able to get Tracy Smothers in a small package and get the pin. So yeah, so the Midnight Express won, and they retained the United States Tag Team Championship. But yeah, this match is just like like I said, it is just an absolute classic. It is like one of the best tag team matches that you will ever see. I mean, I know like people are really know like tag team matches, some of the greatest tag team matches being like, of course, like the TLC matches between like the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. But yeah, if you really want like one of the greatest traditional tag team matches of all time, this is definitely one that you should check out. Like this is one of the like I said, it is possibly like the greatest tag team match that you will ever see. So if you haven't seen this match yet, check this out, because yeah, this is just absolutely excellent. So yeah, I just really don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I know like the way I was talking about it, like I really didn't like go into too much detail, but yeah, I just really can't describe it. Like, you just got to see this match for yourself. But yeah, this match was just absolutely outstanding. So yeah, I definitely give this like an absolute 5-star rating. Just yeah, this is just absolutely excellent. So yeah, I give that match 5 stars. Just absolutely awesome. Yeah. And then after this, then like the show kind of like does go a little bit back into the not so good territory. Yeah. And then next up after this, then we had the debut of Big Van Vader in WCW against Z-Man. And yeah, I mean, this really wasn't much. This was only like just a couple minutes. It was basically just to like display Vader as like a true like beast. Yeah, and yeah, Vader just dominated this and just really just buried Z-Man. But yeah, I'm not really going to complain about this. This just did its job. Like I said, it was really just to really display Vader as a beast. But yeah, Vader's attire here was like kind of different from his like the attire that you would think of Vader in. Like, yeah, like Vader, like the mask that he wore, it really was like kind of like a more luchador type of mask, where like it was actually like covering most of his head and face. It wasn't like the thin leather strap masks that like we think of him wearing all the time. Yeah, this was like a mask that really did like cover up a lot of his face and head. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, I mean, this really just did its job. It was really just to like for him to really make an impact in his WCW debut. So yeah, so I'm not really gonna trash this match, because yeah, this did its job. So I'm not gonna be rating this, but I think that this was just fine. Like, it served its purpose, and there's not really anything to really complain about here. So yeah. And then next up, then we got another tag team match. It was the Steiner brothers versus the fabulous Freebirds, Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes. And yeah, this was solid enough. Yeah, I guess this was overall good. I mean, yeah, it was just a solid back and forth tag team match. Yeah, and yeah, I guess it was just fine. I mean, yeah, I mean, these were of course like two of the most like well-known teams during this time in wrestling. Yeah, so yeah, and I think it did its job just fine. I mean, yeah, it was just kind of like traditional, just a solid back and forth action between both teams. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Once again, like in this tag match, there was like both teams, yeah, both teams like were working together to like attack like the opposing team together, and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and yeah, like I said, it was like just solid tag team action in this match. Yeah, at one point, like the fabulous Freebirds actually like tried to screw the Steiners after like a Scott Steiner was about to like get the win in the match. Like, as the referee like was turned around, and uh, Jimmy Garvin like tried to get involved, well, because yeah, Michael Hayes was like the legal man in the match for the Freebirds, and then yeah, Jimmy Garvin tried to like get involved, and he attacked Scott Steiner, and he like tried to cover Scott Steiner, but of course Jimmy Garvin was not the legal man. And for the Freebirds, yeah. So yeah, as the referee was like getting Jimmy Garvin out, then Rick Steiner ended up attacking Michael Hayes, and then that allowed Scott Steiner to cover Michael Hayes and get the pin. So yeah, the Steiner brothers ended up winning. So yeah, this was fine. I mean, yeah, this was a solid tag team match. So yeah, I would give this probably about 3 stars. Yeah. Then next up, then we had a 6-man tag team match. It was the 4 horsemen. Yeah, well, yeah, the 3 members of the 4 horsemen. It was Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and Sid Vicious versus the Dudes with Attitude, which consisted of the Junkyard Dog, Paul Orndorff, and El Gigante, Gigante. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but yeah, this was of course the giant Gonzalez. So yeah, and yeah, they even like marketed him off as like being really huge, like he was like a 7'6". So yeah, here they like just like portrayed him as just like this big, huge guy as well. Yeah. And yeah, I think that this was probably definitely the worst tag match of the night. Yeah, I mean, this was just like kind of there and just very average. El Gigante didn't actually get tagged in legally in the match, but yeah, and yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was just kind of like just a battle back and forth between both teams, yeah. And then, yeah, of course, like the Four Horsemen tried to use some dirty tactics in the match by like a double teaming or even triple teaming the like Junkyard Dog and Paul Orndorff throughout the match. Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, towards the end of the match, as of like El Gigante was like trying to be tagged in the match, then yeah, the Four Horsemen then attacked Paul Orndorff and the Junkyard Dog, and then yeah, they ended up like throwing Junkyard Dog over the top rope, and of course like this was during the time where like that was like against the rules in WCW, which yeah, I just don't understand that. Like, well, why was that a rule back then in WCW where if you threw somebody over the top rope, you got disqualified? I mean, I just I've always found that rule so freaking stupid. Like, why is that such a bad thing to do? Why was that illegal? Yeah, so yeah, I just never have liked that rule. Well, so yeah, I just always found it stupid. But yeah, the Four Horsemen ended up getting disqualified for that. Yeah, and yeah, before El Gigante could like get to them, they ended up just like bailing from the ring. So yeah, but yeah, this really wasn't really that good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, this was probably the worst of the tag team matches. So yeah, so I would give this probably like 2 stars. Yeah, and then after this, then we had the United States Championship on the line. It was Lex Luger defending against this youngster named uh, Mean Mark. Is that what his name is? Yeah, yeah, so yeah, this Mean Mark, I mean, this was just some guy that like the WCW just like hired, and he was like around in the company for 1 year, but yeah, WCW just really didn't see much in him, so yeah, they released him. But yeah, of course, like later that year in 1990, he eventually ended up coming to the WWF as The Undertaker. So yeah, this was The Undertaker right here. Yeah, and really just I find it really funny that like there's like these guys that come to work for WCW, and WCW just really doesn't think that they would amount to anything. So oh yeah, they let them go, and then they end up coming to the WWF, and they become like some of the company's biggest stars. Like they did it here with the Undertaker. They of course did it with a Stone Cold. They did it with Triple H. So yeah, so gosh, I mean, WCW has, I mean, I don't know who makes these decisions. I don't know if it's Eric Bischoff or Ted Turner or who it is that really makes these decisions, but they kind of feel especially stupid when they let these guys go from WCW and then they see, like, they become, like, some of the WWF's biggest stars. So, yeah, so I just really find that really funny that WCW has made that mistake over and over again. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. About this match, yeah, this really was like pretty mediocre too. Yeah, I mean, just I don't know, just I really don't think like the Undertaker, or I guess I should call him Mean Mark, was could even like get a good match out of Lex Luger. Yeah, yeah. In Mean Mark's corner was like Paul E. Dangerously, or AKA Paul Heyman. So yeah, interesting seeing like Paul Heyman in the Undertaker's corner. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, this was like pretty mediocre and like not really too memorable. Like just yeah, I just really don't think that this type of like style of wrestling for like the Undertaker or Mean Mark is like really like his style. I really think it is more like the Undertaker type of fighting style that he uses with the Undertaker gimmick. So yeah, so I really think like that's more his style than what the style that he had here. Yeah. But then yeah, at one point in the match, Lex Luger tried to put a Mean Mark in the torture rack, right? But then at one point, as he was kind of turning, a Mean Mark accidentally kicked the referee down, and then yeah, Paul E. Dangerously then ended up trying to get involved in the match, and yeah, he actually hit Lex Luger in the rib cage with his cell phone, yeah, and it appeared that right there, Mean Mark was actually going to get the win, but Lex Luger ended up surviving it. Yeah, and then it just ended kind of abruptly, where as Lex Luger was getting up, then as Mean Mark tried to charge at him, Lex Luger just kicked him in the face, and then he knocked Paulie dangerously off the ring apron. And then he just gave a clothesline to Mean Mark and got the win. So yeah, a pretty abrupt ending to a match that was already pretty mediocre. So yeah, like I said, this just really was really not that good. I really don't think this is really Undertaker's type of style. So yeah, so a very mediocre match. I would probably just give that around 2 stars as well. And then next up, then we got the second great tag team match of the night. Next up, then we had the NWA World Tag Team Championship on the line. It was Doom, which was Butch Reed and Ron Simmons, defending against the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. And yeah, in Doom's corner was Teddy Long. So yeah, so interesting seeing Teddy Long here. I mean, yeah, I know that he was in WCW back in the day, but I never have actually seen him ever in anything of WCW that I watched. So yeah, interesting seeing him here. Yeah, and this was once again a pretty good to a great tag team match right here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is another example of a match that really does work, because yeah, this is a good example of a big team, little team type of tag team match. And yeah, this was once again really, really good, maybe even great. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was some really good back and forth action between both teams. Yeah, there was once again multiple times where the team did double team members of the opposing team in this match. And it was pretty good, entertaining, back and forth in-ring action between both teams. There were some high flying moves. There was usage of the ring ropes here. Yeah. At one point, as Teddy Long got up on the ring apron, Ron Simmons, I think it was, ended up being thrown right into Teddy Long, and yeah, that Teddy Long just ended up falling into the ring. Yeah, and then he ended up getting nailed by I think it was Robert Gibson. Yeah, and then yeah, as Robert Gibson was with Teddy Long, then Butch Reed then just jumped from the turnbuckle and just gave a shoulder block from the top turnbuckle to Robert Gibson. And yeah, and then yeah, Butch Reed ended up getting the pin, and yeah, then Doom retained the World Tag Team titles. So yeah, so it wasn't as good as the United States Tag Team Championship match, but yeah, it was still a pretty good to great match. So yeah, this is another tag match that I really do recommend watching. I mean, yeah, it probably really is not really regarded as one of the absolute greatest, but yeah, it is still a very, very good to great tag match. So yeah, so I would probably give this probably around 4 stars. So yeah, once again, a real great tag team match. Yeah, and then we got the big one. And we have the main event for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, with Ric Flair defending against Sting. And yeah, this is really just what the show was really set around. And yeah, I mean, this match just had a huge story going into it with just, yeah. I mean, they were building this thing up for 2 years since the first clash with the Sting and Ric Flair. Yeah. because yeah, they had just been like building this thing up for so long. I mean, fans were really just like really wanting Sting to become the world champion, but of course, like earlier that year, like Sting ended up like injuring his knee, so yeah, it like ended up like being just like put off, and fans just like were just like wanting Sting to really become the world champion. Yeah, and Ric Flair had already held the title for like over a year at this point. Yeah, so yeah, this was just like yeah, it was just like such a huge story going into this match. Yeah, and in this match you did have like uh 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 the Steiners, Paul Orndorff, and the Junkyard Dog like out at ringside to just like prevent the Four Horsemen or anybody else from getting involved in the match. And even Ole Anderson, who was in Ric Flair's corner, ended up being like handcuffed to El Gigante, so he couldn't get involved in the match. And yeah, El Gigante even like pulled Ole Anderson from the ringside area, and they were just like sitting up on the rampway to keep Tully Blanchard from even like being able to be around the ring. Yeah. And yeah, and this match was just freaking great. I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, the story for this match was awesome, and the crowd was just absolutely hot as hell for this thing. And yeah, it just like some really awesome action between Ric Flair and Sting. I mean, yeah, they have had just like tons of matches in WCW, and I think this one may be their best one. I mean, yeah, I liked how Sting was really like dicked out in like red, white, and blue. Like he had like the American flag tights, and yeah, and he also like had like the red, white, and blue face paint. And yeah, so yeah, it was nice to see like Sting really like just decked out in red, white, and blue like that. Yeah. And this was just like such an awesome match. I mean, some really great back and forth action between Ric Flair and Sting. Like it like was in the ring and like spilled around to the outside of the ring. Yeah, of course, like Ric Flair was targeting Sting's injured knee in the match. Yeah, yeah, and it looked like Sting may have like had to battle on one leg. Yeah, and yeah, Ric Flair like tried to get the figure four in on Sting a couple of points in the match. Yeah, and even at one point, a Sting ended up getting Ric Flair into the figure four. Yeah. Yeah, and then and yeah, Ole Anderson even like did try to run down to the ring, but of course like he couldn't pull El Gigante, and yeah, El Gigante just ended up like pulling Ole Anderson back to where they were. Yeah. Yeah, and then at one point, Sting was like really battling back against Ric Flair. Yes, Sting ended up getting Ric Flair in the Scorpion Deathlock, and then the Four Horsemen then ended up like trying to come down to the ring to help Ric Flair, but of course like Orndorff, Junkyard Dog, and the Steiners like fought them off, so they couldn't like get involved in the match. Yeah. Yeah, and then but Ric Flair was able to get to the rope, so Sting had to break the Scorpion Deathlock. Yeah. Yeah. And then Sting then just like continued to fight Ric Flair off. Yeah. And Ric Flair at one point then like tried to pin Sting with his feet on the ropes, but yeah, Scott Steiner then just like pushed Ric Flair's feet off of the ropes. So he couldn't like get a cheap win over Sting like that. Yeah. Yeah. And then 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 Sting like was battling back against Ric Flair, and then at one point as he like Irish whipped Ric Flair into the turnbuckle, then like he tried to then just like run at Ric Flair and just like drive his knee into Ric Flair's face, but yeah, Ric Flair was able to move out of the way, and then Sting's knee hit the turnbuckle. Yeah, and then Ric Flair then like tried to go for the figure four again on Ric Flair, Sting, but then Sting was able to uh, counter it and roll Ric Flair up into an inside cradle, and then Sting then got the pinfall, and so then Sting got the win, and Sting became the world champion. Yeah, so but I wasn't really like a big fan of the way it ended. I mean, I just didn't think that like Sting just like rolling up Ric Flair through the figure four was really like the best way for him to win. I really would have preferred it like if Ric Flair actually did get the figure four in, but then like Sting like reversed it, and then like I just like turned it into the Scorpion Deathlock and Ric Flair submitted. I would have like preferred to Sting win that way, but I mean, it's 30 years later, so what are we gonna do about it? And really, it's just like a small little gripe. It's not really like problem with the match. Yeah, so I'm not really gonna penalize the match for that. Yeah, but yeah, Sting finally got the win and won the title, and yeah, the crowd just was absolutely nuts for it. So yeah, Sting winning the title here. Yeah, this is regarded by many to be like one of the greatest moments in WCW history. Yeah, and yeah, Sting really did like deserve it. Like it was a great moment. So yeah, and yeah, the match overall, it just really was great. I mean, yeah, and just with the story and just how hot the crowd was, really did help it out a lot. So yeah, so I would give that match probably like a 4.25. So yeah, a great match and a great moment with Sting winning. Yeah. So overall with the show, I would probably give it, I think, around a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, yeah, you have three great matches with the two tag team title matches and the main event, as well as with the great moment of Sting winning. But yeah, like I said, just yeah, the undercard is just, it's very slow, and yeah, it seemed like there's a lot of filler on here. So yeah, the undercard really does like stop the show from being great. But yeah, like I said, what's good about the show, it is like really, really good. So yeah, so like I said, I would recommend the show overall. I mean, yeah, despite the fact that there is a lot of filler on the show, it's worth watching to really just see the great stuff on the show. And yeah, definitely like check out the main event. And I mean, yeah, like I said, Sting winning is just such a great moment. So yeah, so overall, I mean, not a great show, but still a really, really good one. So yeah, so if you haven't seen it before, check it out, especially those three great matches. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So I guess that's all I can really say about it. So yeah. So I guess this does it for my review of the Great American Bash 1990. I hope you guys did enjoy this review, and I think I might make another Great American Bash review sometime in the next few days because yeah, of course, like the WWE does have like this Great American Bash like event that's going on like 2 nights on NXT. Like they had one just a few nights ago, like on the 1st, and they're gonna have another one on the 8th. So yeah, so I think I might make another Great American Bash review sometime in the next few days. Days in honor of that. Yeah, so stay tuned for another Great American Bash review coming in the next few days. All right. But I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Happy 4th of July, and I'll see you guys later.